In this quick skills video, we're looking at solving simple linear equations. So we'll be looking at something called SADMOB first. We'll talk about isolating a variable, and then we'll look at solving some 1, 2, and 3-step problems. So just some simple, straightforward problems. All right, so SADMOB is simply BOMDAS backwards. Now, I'm going to assume that everybody is familiar with BOMDAS, which is really just an acronym to remember our order of operations. So we all know that we've got brackets and then orders, which is our powers and square roots and logarithms and whatnot. Multiply and divide comes next from left to right, and then addition and subtraction from left to right. So everyone should know that. Now, so when we solve an equation, what we're actually looking at is undoing operations to isolate a variable. So what we really mean then, we'll write an equation. Let's say we've got 3x plus 4 is equal to 11. So we're trying to undo operations, get rid of additions or subtractions or multipliers and divides in order to get this little fella, the variable, on his own. So that's our goal. This is our variable, and everything else is in our way. Mostly what's on this side, but we need to get everything away from the variable in order to isolate that variable and calculate what it's actually equal to. And the way we do that is by, as I said, reversing the operations. So with SADMOB then, we're looking at first undoing addition or subtraction, and then we're looking at undoing multiply and divide, and then we can look at undoing powers and roots and logs. All of these things we won't have to worry about at the moment. And then finally, we can look at brackets. Now, brackets is a little bit special, and it kind of fits in with fractions as well. And we'll look at this more later on in another session. But brackets and fractions can kind of go at any point here. So we could expand them out and bring them into a larger part of the question, or we can leave the bracket till the end, and then we can rearrange what's left. So that's not a hard and fast rule with the brackets and fractions. There's little different techniques can be used, and you'll see as we go through examples how this applies. Okay, so the main thing to remember is our goal is to isolate the variable. We want to get that variable alone. So we'll look at a couple of simple examples. All right, so in this one it says solve for x. Say we've got 3x take 4 is equal to 8. So I'm going to solve for x here. Now 3x take 4 is equal to 8. The way we're going to do this is we're going to put a line over the side. And on this left-hand side of the line, we're going to say what we need to undo, what we want to get rid of. So the first step is we've got this subtract 4 that we need to get rid of. So we're trying to get x on its own, and when we think about SADMOB, add subtract comes first. Okay, so we're going to add 4 to both sides. So 3x take 4 plus 4 just leaves us with 3x. And 8 plus 4 gives us 12. So we've added 4 to both sides, it's still balanced. Now we've got this extra 3. Now remember that 3x means 3 times x. So we need to undo that multiply by 3. So the opposite of multiply by 3 is divide. So if we divide both sides by 3, we get x, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So therefore our answer is x is equal to 4. Now if we tested this back in the problem, we can see that it works. 3 times 4 take 4 is equal to 8. So 3 times 4 is 12, take 4 is equal to 8, 8 is equal to 8. Good, we can see that that works. Okay, let's look at another simple example. Okay, in this example it says solve for n, and we've got the equation 5n on 3 plus 7 is equal to 11. Okay, so we'll go back again and we'll think about SADMOB. Remember, first we worry about addition, subtraction, and our goal is to isolate n. So we want to get n on its own. So the first thing we have to worry about is we've got this plus 7 here. So to get rid of or undo that add 7 is we have to subtract 7. So if we subtract 7 from both sides, we've got 5n on 3, and 11 take away 7 gives us 4. Now the next thing we need to get rid of, we need to worry about our multiply divides now, is this divide by 3. So just remember, on 3 as a fraction means divide by 3. So to undo a divide by 3, we multiply both sides by 3. So 5n on 3 multiplied by 3 just gives us 5n, and 4 multiplied by 3 gives us 12. Now finally, to isolate n, we need to get rid of this 5. And remember, it's 5 times n. So to get rid of a multiply by 5, we divide by 5. So we end up then with n is equal to 12 on 5. Now, if you really wanted to, you could change that to a decimal or a mixed fraction, but I'm happy with this improper fraction as my answer. So the answer is n is equal to 12 on 5. Okay, one last example. We would like to solve for x. 7 take 4x is equal to 4. Right, so we've got 7 take 4x is equal to 4. Again, we're going to follow SADMOB. And the first thing we need to do then is do something with this 7. Now, please be really careful and understand that this negative stays with that 4x, so it's negative 4x. So this is a positive 7. So in order to undo that, we have to subtract 7 from both sides. So when we subtract 7 from this side, we're left with our negative 4x. And 4 take away 7 is negative 3. Now what we need to do is we need to be able to get rid of this negative 4. Now, please be aware again that this is a negative 4 multiplied by x. So that negative 4 has been multiplied by x. In order to undo that negative 4, then we will have to divide by negative 4 on both sides. So we divide negative 4x by negative 4, and we've got x. And we have negative 3 on negative 4 on the other side. As that negative is common to top and bottom, it will cancel, or it's like having negative 1 divided by negative 1, which gives us a positive 1, and we're left with 3 on 4, and that's our answer. Okay, that concludes our first lesson. That's just an introduction into solving linear equations. We'll look back at more complex scenarios in the following lessons.